Footage from cameras near the DNC have been released, which have raised more questions than answers. Let's start with the night of January 5th.
The security camera footage is grainy and gray with no sound, like an old silent film. Night has fallen in Washington, and a person wearing a light-colored hoodie, a face mask, and Nike Air Max Speed Turf sneakers strides down the sidewalk along South Capitol Street carrying a backpack. The person stops and stands idly in front of a house while someone passes, walking their dog on a leash. The person continues on, sitting for a while on a snowy bench near the Democratic National Committee building. What the hell is this?
The night was humid. That's it, and that's all.
Okay, let's get into some real details. A group of videos have been released by the FBI available on their website as part of their investigation, starting with a map tracking the movements of the suspect. According to the FBI, at 7:34 p.m., the suspect is first spotted walking near 1st Street towards New Jersey Avenue, and then heads towards D Street, where he is captured by what I assume is a home security camera while walking through the neighborhood. He then turns left to head along South Capitol Street through another neighborhood, where he is caught on camera again. The suspect looks around, almost lost, and then walks to the other side of the camera's view, strangely, in view, and then sets down the backpack he is carrying. He stands around, looking up and around at something, and is passed by someone walking their dog. Wait, what is he looking at? It seems like he gets up on his tiptoes to look at something across the street. He then adjusts his glasses, picks up the backpack, heading back to D Street where he just came from, and finally turns back again and walks to the DNC. This is where we get the worst camera footage ever, seemingly from a 1990s PC webcam connected through Prodigy dial-up internet. He sits down on one of the benches that is not covered by snow. Thank you very much, The Atlantic, for such expert journalism. After sitting for a bit, he gets up and leaves the area heading towards New Jersey Avenue. He walks up New Jersey Avenue and turns around, heading back to the DNC. He sits down on the other bench and begins digging in his backpack for something. Where's the other camera view of this happening? He takes something out and stands up. You can see an object that looks shiny in his hand as he starts to walk away, then sits back down, and this is where it seems the suspect places the pipe bomb next to the bench. He leaves and walks back up South Capitol to D Street, then Jersey Avenue, and then along North Carolina Avenue. Assuming that since the FBI video shows 8 p.m. and then 8:08 at another location, that the suspect was not in view of any cameras during this time. The suspect walks from 2nd Street down to C Street and cuts through an alley towards the Capitol Hill Club, where he is seen on the clearest and closest footage provided by the FBI. He doesn't stop here yet, proceeds to walk around the front of the club, still carrying the backpack in his hand, not on his back, where he is seen on camera footage walking back towards 2nd Street along C Street. He is seen stretching his arms out as a Metro PD vehicle drives by him. He then walks back through the alley where he is seen earlier in the footage, and walks back to the rear of the Capitol Hill Club, presumably where he plants the bomb behind some trash cans. The FBI video ends with what I presume to be his last sighted location at 8:18 p.m. at the other end of the alley behind St. Peter's Church. And now we move on to the following morning, January 6th, where our focus will be on newly released footage from cameras located near the DNC headquarters. At 9:28 a.m., an officer in K-9 can be seen doing a sweep near the garage doors for the DNC. I don't think this is a normal daily routine for the DNC headquarters. It will be apparent later on that it is for a very specific purpose, or I should say person. After finishing the sweep past the garage entrance, they return to the right, off camera, passing directly behind the pipe bomb planted next to the bench the previous night. At 9:49 a.m., a vehicle is seen in the footage waiting at the garage entrance to the DNC. The officer and K-9 appear from the right side, passing once again behind the pipe bomb, to perform a search of the vehicle. Presumably, the dog is sniffing for gunpowder and other bomb-making materials. So how is it that there is an actual bomb placed near where the dog is performing now 2 separate searches at least, and has yet to be found? Are they stationed outside the building right near the benches? How is it possible that this pipe bomb is missed by everyone passing by these benches, including law enforcement? After finishing a sweep of the vehicle, K-9 once again is led past the benches. This is now the 4th time that we have seen on camera that a dog trained to sniff out bomb materials has passed by a supposedly viable explosive device, something that is considered to be a weapon of mass destruction, and that the FBI tells us has been there since last night. I don't want anyone watching this video to think I believe the Secret Service are bad at doing their job. My belief is that there is nothing next to that bench to be found, or at least, nothing that a well-trained dog would detect. So why the extra security? Why would the garage need to be secured, and anyone arriving after the initial sweep would need to be checked before entering? Let's move on to later that morning, 2 hours after the footage showing a K-9 sweeping the garage entrance, and find out the reason that the DNC is under so much security today. At 11:25 a.m., a Metro Police SUV pulls into frame and blocks traffic. This is followed by black SUVs. The Secret Service have arrived, escorting their protectee, Senator Kamala Harris, Vice President-elect at the time. The location of Senator Harris on January 6th was thought to be in the Capitol building with the rest of Congress. A year later, it was revealed where she actually was that day. Weird, but she wasn't even in the building for the certification of the Electoral College vote, the official certification that would make her the next Vice President of the United States. Not even in the building. She was off-site at the DNC. Meeting with whom? And why? It's been revealed that her itinerary for that day said she would be leaving to go home after a briefing of the Senate Intelligence Committee. Can we assume because of the sweeps and lockdown of the premises earlier in the day that this visit was obviously planned ahead of time? After they have entered the garage, the Secret Service SUV backs up to block the garage entrance, and soon after, the SUV currently in frame leaves, and a Metro Police sedan will arrive and block the other door. That car will be replaced by a police SUV in the next clip we will see, possibly the SUV that was blocking traffic and just left. At 1:05 p.m., a passerby is about to report finding the DNC pipe bomb. Let's analyze this Blade Runner style.
Move in. Stop.
The passerby walks over to the Metro PD SUV driver's side and talks to the driver. He will then walk around to the passenger side, taking off his backpack as he does. After talking for a little while, he will then walk over to the Secret Service SUV. Wait a minute. He's carrying his backpack in his hand too? That's strange.
Center and pull back. Stop.
He then speaks to the driver of the black SUV for a while, and then leaves heading off camera to the right, walking right by the dangerous and viable pipe bomb he just discovered and reported. Another person can also be seen walking right past the benches after the bomb is reported. Let's see how many people, after the report of a bomb, will be allowed to walk right by. Now this footage is just going to roll by at normal speed, just to show how long it takes for an actual response to an actual bomb being actually reported. Spoiler alert, 2 minutes after being notified, someone does something. There we go. Someone is finally getting out of their car to do something. Oh look, they're finally walking over to the benches to inspect. A police SUV is about to drive through the intersection, hopefully to block traffic. Another person just walked by the benches. Is that our backpack guy from earlier? And more people walk into frame from the left, about to cross the street heading towards the benches. Oh, the camera moves! Finally zooming in on the area in question, and you can see the pipe bomb sitting next to the bench. I noticed the coffee cup. Someone was sitting right next to this dangerous explosive device and never noticed it. For the rest of this clip, that area will never be focused on again. That is very bizarre. Let's speed through the rest. It's all just people moving around, not doing much of anything. More police vehicles are seen, hopefully to block off the area. 8 people, at least 8 pedestrians, not including vehicles, have passed right by the bomb area. Now vehicles begin to move away and clear the immediate area around the recently discovered pipe bomb. At 1:15 p.m., Senator Harris will be evacuated from the building, a whole 10 minutes after the bomb was reported. At 2:12 p.m., the device will be destroyed by the bomb disposal unit. The robot can be seen rolling towards the benches to retrieve the bomb. place it up against the curb in the street, and then destroy it with a controlled demolition. Oh wait, sorry, they didn't detonate the bomb. The robot actually destroys the bomb using a water disruption jet, something described as a shotgun blast of water that disrupts and destroys the device without having to detonate it on purpose. This is the only camera angle available to witness this, strangely. Every other camera in the area was turned away at this time. Another curiosity is the passerby wearing a backpack that discovered the bomb was later revealed to be a plainclothes Capitol Police officer. Not anyone involved with prepping the area for the arrival of Senator Harris, not the Secret Service, not even the dog trained to sniff out bombs. Just a plainclothes officer that was walking by. Maybe that was his coffee cup on the bench. At least that would make some sort of sense. So there are some people who have thoughts after reviewing these publicly released clips. Observations that I would have to agree with. I'll let them speak for themselves.
They cannot prevent the pipe bomb scandal, which is huge enough in its own right, from metastasizing to other elements of the, what I call, Fedsurrection. If the pipe bomb story is a hoax, which it is, and if the initial breach of the Capitol at the West Perimeter was a Fed-saturated operation, which it was, then January 6th is absolutely not what the government has made it out to be. They're using the false story of January 6th as the predominant pretext through which to weaponize our nation's national security apparatus, which is supposed to be there to keep us safe, but they're repurposing it to politically silence us and even throw some people in jail for having the wrong political opinions. And it's all based on an absolutely blatant and flagrant lie.
It's the biggest scandal of our time, folks. There isn't even a close second. Somebody's setting us up, and I want to know who's in on it. It's all going to be framed as a training exercise. Oh, was this a training exercise? We dropped this, if it was like a red cell thing, we were just testing the security. Watch, they were not testing the security. This was 100% a setup.
Is all of the January 6th pipe bomb information that has been presented to the public accurate? Truthful? Even somewhat close to correct? No, absolutely not. There's no way that what has been said and presented is what happened that day, or even that night before when the bombs were planted in 2 places, with standard 1-hour kitchen timers, one of which the next morning should have been found before 10 a.m., not after 1 o'clock, especially since the first device found was the one found by accident near the RNs. The DNC with extra security never noticed an explosive device between a bench and a bush. A trained canine never picked up the slightest sniff of anything. I'll tell you what, I'm thinking I'm sniffing something, like driving by a dairy farm in the heat of summer. And will the FBI try to pass this off as a training exercise or a test of security? How idiotic could they be to even try to pass that stinker by anyone? Even the most steadfast liberal would have to turn and say, so for over 3 years you've been offering a reward and have been searching for yourselves? Hit like if you like this video, hit subscribe if you'd like to see more, and hit the bell if you'd like to know when new videos come out. You may not agree with everything or even anything at all that I've said, but what if I'm right?